live.
Hi everyone, and I think it feels good. Hi everyone, I am here, and hopefully you all can see me. So I'm gonna look at my Facebook page from here, just to make sure that you all can see and hear us correctly, and let us know if you cannot. I am here with Mr. Christian Frasier, aka Chris. I call him here. He is my Mr. Celebrity. So he is hosting an acting seminar that's taking place on August the
18th from 1 to 3:30.
Okay.
Right in Atlanta.
All right, you hear that? So those of you who are not in the Atlanta area, you need to get here because he's dropping major gems. And when I had a chance to make this connection, I went ahead and immediately went and Googled him to see exactly what kind of information I could get about him. So I'm going to let him kind of give us a little background, and then I go to like the Q&A. So if it's something that you would like to know, if it's something that you are trying to turn your dreams into reality, this is the go-to man who is opening the door to give us those opportunities and give you opportunity to get with him one-on-one in the seminar to learn from somebody who was already living that life. I have went all over traveling, talking to people from different walks of life, but my major thing is I want to know, what was your life before you got to chasing your dream? How did you put that in alignment? So Chris is going to give us a little opportunity to do that. So Chris, welcome to my Facebook and your Facebook as well. So can you tell us?
First of all, I am very happy to be here.
Oh, thank you.
Actually, I'm happy to have you here. This is my spot.
That's right. I should be saying that. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to sit down with you, to get close and comfortable, to come in your domain, and being able to, reach out and change somebody's dream into reality.
Well, again, my name is Christian Frasier. I'm originally from Newark, New Jersey. Anybody from Newark out there, I used to live in the Stella Wright projects in Newark. I think we used to have like 12, 13 floors, used to be crazy. But I started in the acting business about 18 years ago. I was actually working for AT&T, going door to door, and I knocked on the door of this talent agency, and they said, hey, you should get us a picture in here, and we can put you to work. So I actually went out and I did it, and it was history since there. Once I actually started working with them and doing commercials for like Disney and for Universal Studios, I decided to go out and pursue it on my own.
Okay.
And I actually worked on the movie with Denzel Washington, Out of Time. And I feel like it was then that I was actually bit by the bug.
Oh, okay.
Let me actually connect this, make sure I got it correct.
Okay.
Boom.
So I'm going to stop you and interrupt you when you're dropping some gems, because you just all of a sudden in the right place at the right time, and somebody saw the talent in you. Is that correct? Is that what you're saying?
Well, it really wasn't somebody that saw the talent in me. They just said, hey, you got to look. We can actually work with you and use you. And it was me that actually developed the talent afterwards. Say, hey, I actually should start pursuing this and actually being very serious about it. And that's basically what I did.
Oh, okay. So, well, the reason I was asking that, because of some people already is born with the talent, and people tell us, hey, Angie, you good at speaking. I had some former friends tell me, Angie, you're going to school for the wrong thing. You shouldn't be going to school for nursing. You should be pursuing something with talking. I didn't know, coming from a small area, Abbeville, South Carolina, population of less than 5,000. So I didn't know motivational speaking was something that I could, reach out, go out there and chase it, and especially not make money doing. So those dreams weren't planted. But only until I got into travel nursing, and once I got to California, my eyes became just, my territory enlarged, I should say.
Yeah, I think that a lot of us, especially anybody that grows up in small areas or in urban areas like, in New York, New Jersey, in the inner city, that sometimes we're not exposed to different things, different jobs and things like that when we're growing up. So as we become exposed to those things, then we actually are able to desire to go after that type of work.
Okay.
And I think that it's our job now, as being exposed to these different types of jobs and these different types of industries, to expose younger people to it so they can make the educated choice. Is this something that I actually want to pursue?
Oh, wow. Did you all hear that? He said younger. So, but I'm still seeing, I'm 42 years old, and I still have desire, because some people have told, I know Taraji put it, she was accepting an award, and she was saying she just hitting the surface. You know, she's 46 years old. So what do you have to say for even some of us older people that
like myself, like, you know,
the dream?
First of all, I'm almost 50 years old actually. I'm almost 50. I have 4 grandchildren. People don't normally believe that, but I always say black don't crack unless you smoke it, and beige don't age. So definitely, you know, in the acting industry is one industry that you can actually start out later on, or the entertainment industry itself is an industry that you can actually start out later in life.
Okay.
Like Ava DuVernay, which actually does a lot of directing for Oprah.
Yes, she does.
She did the movie Selma. She actually said she didn't pick up her first camera until she was 42 years old. So it is an industry where a lot of people actually can start out later in life. So don't think that because you're too old or whatever it is. I find that a lot of us actually have a lot of excuses for success.
Exactly.
You know, like I'm too old, or I can't do this, or I can't do that. And really a lot of these things are just obstacles that we make up in our own minds.
I believe it.
We do. We make up those obstacles in our own minds. So it's something that we actually have to get rid of. We have to get rid of those, you know, invisible fences that, you know, stop us from achieving our goals.
Okay, I'm going to write that down, because as he's talking, I am taking like major notes, because he is preaching to the choir here. Because I mean, a lot of things I'm moving in networking, but when I come home, I'm laying on the bed and I see a bed full of business cards, and you know, no execution. So when I go back to the next event, and the lady's like, why haven't you reached back out? And I don't know if it's more that I don't want to worry somebody, you know. So what is your advice to those of us who out here we moving around with the movers and shakers, but when we have that connection, how to execute?
Well, I think that's even as far as business is concerned, because first of all, I think in order for you to be successful as an actor, you have to be successful as a business person. Mine? Okay, thank you. Let me just make sure.
Yeah. So
technical difficulty for a second.
Because we're trying to zoom in from Instagram.
Oh yeah, no wonder.
Flip camera.
Man, I had to flip the camera. Hold on a second. We was looking at the TV and everything. But one of the things as far as like being successful in business, because like I said, I actually spent 15 years as a real estate agent. I was very successful in business. As far as networking and things like that is concerned, you have to have like kind of a methodical approach to your contacts. You know, like when I used to get business cards, I used to grab those business cards. I used to email them the next morning, and I would actually communicate whatever we had a conversation with. And I would write down notes on the back of the business card. Hey, we talked about such and such, such and such. So the next morning, I can remember what we talked about, and then I can actually follow up with them. It's a business principle that you can use in any industry, whether it's entertainment, mortgages, real estate. It's a business principle that is successful and is proven to work well. And people are very impressed when you can remember names, dates, birth dates, and stuff like that, or specific conversations. It's impressive, and because a lot of people don't do it, but the fact that you actually took the time out to do it, it sets you apart from everybody else.
Wow.
Is it? Wow.
So,
oh well, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do something different.
Well, we are make sure that everybody on Instagram land get these same major jewels that you're getting.
Instagram's having a glitch. Sometimes they suck.
So I hope you have you a notebook and.
Actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go live on Facebook in a minute too.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go live on Facebook too.
Okay. So that way, please share this message, because you may have somebody in your family. This message might not be for you, but it might be somebody in your family that has talent, that want to get into the industry of entertainment, whether it's dancing, whether it's music, whether it's being a comedian, whatever it is that you feel that they feel like they have a talent in, this message is for them to take some of these things, package it up, put it into use. You know, don't just sit here and like, you know, well, that's not for me. You know, because I used to say that, oh, that's not for me. And I want to give a shout out to Miss Suham. She's my role model from South Carolina as well, who aligned me with even knowing what acting is. I went to my first actor workshop because she kept putting something on her page about David Tarbert, who produced the Almost Christmas. And after being in that environment, I went back to my hotel crying, God, why did you send me here? I don't belong here. So when you have that niche, because even when I see you on your Law and Order role, how are you able to transition into these different, you know, parts? And I see you, you know, with your different, how do you know how to, you know, transition into that? Or is it something you...
Well, you know, if you're going to be an actor, I just, like anything else, I always say, you need to have training.
Training, okay.
You know, people want to go into different industries, but they don't want to train. Or people want to actually achieve their dream, but they don't want to do the preparation that it takes to get there.
Oh, yes.
You know, in order for you to be successful as an actor, you have to basically be able to understand it's more than just memorizing lines. Mm-hmm. It's about bringing out, you know, a character on the screen and making it believable. Okay. And also in acting, there's a lot of technical things that you have to learn. Yeah. You know, things that on set, when they say back to one, or they say reset, and they say, all right, we're getting ready to do the turnaround and all that type of stuff. Mm-hmm. You have to be able to learn those things, and you have to be able to know those things so that not only you can actually give a good performance, but also so that you can help the director and the producer to make sure that it's a good product. Okay. Because sometimes even they forget, you know, things that they need to do. Oh, we forgot the turnaround. Oh, you know, as an actor, hey, we didn't get the turnaround. You know, so I remind the director, hey, you know, if there's something that I feel like we didn't get done, mm-hmm. then hey, you know, what about this? So being an actor is being more than just, again, memorizing lines.
Oh, okay. And I also want to touch on your physique, because I heard you, even when I was doing your YouTube video, that you said you didn't want to take your shirt off, so you put yourself in your... So I did my research, and I heard you say, because that was major to me as I was laying in the bed and, you know, making my little notes. And when you said, you didn't want to be...
Well, I was 70 pounds, or actually 80 pounds heavier than I am right now.
Okay.
I used to be like 260 pounds. And I was in a 40, almost like a 42 waist. Mm-hmm. And I decided, and also I'm a diabetic, and I talk about that all the time, about, you know, eating healthy and being healthy. So I decided that I was going to lose the weight because I was tired of being called in for the bouncer role, the guy that beats you up and stuff like that all the time. Although I love it. But I wanted to expand, you know, the types of roles that I was getting. So once I did that and I lost the weight and everything, and I took new headshots and I put it out there, I was actually I started getting a lot more auditions for leading roles and things like that. So, you know, it's all about, you know, understanding your type, understanding your character, not only just your type as how you look physically, mm-hmm. but also your emotional type as well, figuring that out to figure out where you fit within the television industry mm-hmm. and the film industry, or what types of shows do you actually fit into. You know, it takes a lot to just figure out, okay, what do I get a job? No, you actually got to do a little research, you know. And I find, you know, it's funny because I have a lot of friends who are actors, mm-hmm. and I hear this quite often, like, oh, I don't watch TV and I don't go to the movies. And I always say, that's why you're not on it. Because you really have to do the research, and you really have to understand the industry. Mm-hmm. You know, if somebody says, you know, we're looking for somebody who can deliver lines, you know, like Olivia Pope, you know, on Scandal, and you don't watch Scandal, then guess what? You know, you're not going to be able to give an effective performance. And it also kind of makes you kind of look very uneducated in the industry, that you're not actually taking the time to research the industry, research the directors, research the producers, you know, to find out what types of actors and things like that they, and what types of projects they've done in the past, and how they work, basically. Mm-hmm. So it's and also with television shows, to even take a step further, they even like you to live in their whole like world as far as that fantasy world. So I have an actor friend of mine that said that he auditioned for a show 18 times before he actually got a role. But it actually, the difference from his auditions changed from when he started watching the show and started understanding. When you started understanding the characters and everything that you're interacting with, then it gives you a better understanding how to give a better performance.
Okay. Now, I'm just going to piggyback off what he said, because I, too, was shell-shocked. Because once I went into the BET Awards, and I know people were saying, you keep referencing that, but that's what opened it, it launched my territory to give me high heights. I was so embarrassed because I did not research beforehand. I don't watch TV. Very rarely do I turn the TV on, and not often. So when I got to the BET Awards, I was walking beside celebrities, and I was embarrassed because I didn't know who they were. I was embarrassed, like I think his name Rotini of Power, and he came off the court and he said, "Are you talking to me?" And I said, "Yes, I was just trying to get your name and information." And I was embarrassed because I didn't know enough about him in order to have him in arm's reach. And then I missed my opportunity to either, like boost and stroke their ego a little bit because I knew nothing.
Well, we don't, as actors, we don't really need our ego stroked or anything like that. But and nowadays even, you can take a picture of somebody and Google it and it'll pop up.
Okay.
And it gives you the opportunity. But definitely, if you're going to work in the entertainment industry, it's good to actually know what's going on, what's hot out there. Understand, what's happening in the landscape of the business. I have, it's easy to get caught up and not do it, but, I have friends who work on shows, and, if you don't understand what is going on with the show, then you don't understand the opportunity. There's some shows that they have franchises, and they do crossovers and things like that. And I was like, man, you got to get out there and try to see if you can get a crossover on one of these other shows and things. So it's just, understanding the industry so you can actually understand also how to make your money.
Okay. And that's what, I'm assuming crossover means being able to be versatile. Is that the same thing?
Well, no, actually, there's a lot of shows, like give an example on the CW. They have a show called Supergirl. They have a show called Arrow. They have a show called The Flash. They have a show called Black Lightning. All of those shows are DC Comics shows, and every year they actually have crossover events where the same actor might be on all 4 shows.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just talking about being able to get extra money.
Okay.
And understanding the competitive landscape, or understand the landscape of what's going on in the business.
Okay. Well, I like the way that you said that. Since we own that word of money, let's talk about how we can get monetized, because, like I said, if it wasn't for Suham introducing me to the acting world and going to the acting workshop in Dallas. I flew to Dallas and in order to attend. And like I said, I was broken down because I didn't feel like I fit in because I knew nothing. It was just something new that I was just opening myself up to kind of dabble in and say, let me see if it works. I'm going to throw the chips up where they may. But when I take away from it, when I was around all these people who have been pursuing this dream, and I didn't know how to go and set myself up, let's hit on the headshot first, because I feel like the headshot will lead you into the money. Is that correct?
Well, as far as a headshot, and I can talk about that a lot because I'm also a photographer.
Okay, he's a jack of all trades.
Yeah. So I'm a photographer. I shoot headshots. I've shot headshots for guys who are working on television shows and movies and films like that right now. So the headshot is very important. And one of the things that I notice about actors' headshots, which is like everybody wants to make their headshots look good and everything, and they want to smile and all types of stuff. But I give an example with me. I don't play characters who smile, so me having a headshot that smiles really isn't going to work for me. If I'm paying somebody who's going to kick your butt, then I don't need to be smiling in my headshots.
That's important.
So as a actor getting into the industry, one of the first things I feel like is very important is actually understanding your character type, and also making sure in your brand and making sure that you shoot headshots that actually match your character type and match your brand. So if I'm playing, guy who's kicking everybody's butt, then I shouldn't have a headshot that looks like a soccer dad, and vice versa.
Okay. I want you all to know, if you signing up and coming to the seminar, I seen on the flyer that you giving is a free headshot with that.
Yes, yeah. So anybody that attends the seminar live is actually going to get a free headshot. We'll schedule a time. I'm going to have a day. We're going to rent out a studio. We're going to do free headshots along with anybody that attends the workshop.
Wow. And he's saying that's important because, like I said, I was new to the industry, so I went to Casting 360. I put, like I said, I was just
there's a lot of scams out there.
Oh, and they
like
got
that
me.
One, like that one.
They got me.
That was a big.
They sent me a
scam.
check for I think about $3,000 or $4,000, and they was telling me to come to New York and to meet them, and they used the I think it was a Redwood studio, and it was the same, but they had one letter that was off, same email address and everything. And so when I contacted, you have to do your research because he is exactly correct about the scam. And since
actually,
I'm talking about
the
that,
entertainment industry probably has more scams than any other industry. There's people out there that basically want to prey on your hopes and dreams. And I've seen it a lot over the last 18 years. So so that's one of the things that I talk about in the seminar about how to avoid scams. And also, you also want to take classes and seminars that are benefit to you. And because there's some people out there that are teaching seminars that really aren't working. Like they're actors who couldn't make it and they actually decided that they're going to teach seminars. And I actually would love to learn from somebody who's actually working and doing it out there, as opposed to somebody who tried it, failed at it, and trying to teach somebody else. Like myself, I'm a working actor. I have stuff that's running on television right now. Okay. I've got a Ford commercial that's running on television. If you haven't heard that campaign, that Born to Roll. So when you hear that, roll on. That's it gets me excited every time I hear it. And then I have a Navy commercial that's running on right now. I'm the voice for the Navy.
Because I see you're a military person too. I found that out.
I'm a
and
military
look at it right there on my notes, on my little cue card.
So yeah, I was a military veteran, and they decided that they wanted to use real veterans to do the voiceovers for the Navy commercials. So I have them, and I actually just went and recorded a new one because they have the campaign. They made some adjustments that they're going to be running for the rest of the year. Okay. So we're talking about money and things like that. As far as an actor, there's so many different things that you can do as an actor. You can be on camera talent, you can do print jobs, you can do commercials, you can do voiceovers for commercials, you can do voiceovers for movies, you can do voiceovers for animated projects, and the residuals and things like that are, it can actually be pretty good over time. And the thing that you want to do is you want to keep building that up. So there's all types of opportunities for you to make money. And then also, as you build up your brand, you can actually make more money because you can do appearances and things like that. So, like myself, I've actually done Comic-Con. So I've been able to go to Comic-Con, and I was actually surprised because people were paying for my autograph. And I was like, at that point, I was like, wow, like people are paying money for my autograph and picture. And, just different ways that you can get paid, as an actor. Well,
my thing is, I heard you said about them paying you because even when I looked you up, I don't think I guess to you it's just, this is just what you love to do, but the value in giving these niggas, even, this conversation now, or this interview now, is worth millions for somebody who's still sitting at home wondering, I know I'm good at, because you named a good many things. You named being a voiceover, you named, being an actor in front of the camera, after the behind the camera, because I have a godson that is real good behind the camera, but he does, two-part comedian. He's able to, show up, doing his comedy skits. And I have another young man who's good at comedian, and he dress up not like Tyler Perry, the Medea, but dress up in order to, do his role of what he put in different characters. Yeah. So, what advice do you have to those young men? And they young, they in their mid-20s, in order to get out here to, I got this dream, I have this talent, but how do I go to my next?
Well, one of the funny things about acting and everything and comedy, you know, I hear a lot of comedians that actually, you know, you hear stories like, you know, they ended up sleeping in their car and have no money or anything like that. And one of the things that I always recommend is, first of all, have something else that you can work on that's going to keep you, you know, that's going to keep you going.
Isn't it called an investor? Work your investor to your investor.
Or a job.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with having a job and working. I mean, I'm just saying, there's nothing wrong with having and there's a lot of actors who are famous that before they became famous, you know, they were waiters, they were office personnel, that, you know, they had all of these different types of jobs, but they had jobs, and you do have to have income until your dreams are realized, you know. But you know, maybe you can actually learn how to make income within the business. Like myself, you know, like I operate the camera for video, for photography. You know, I've been in the business long enough that I know how to produce and do different types of things. So figure out what it is that you can do that might actually be in the business that you can do as far as a survival job until, you know, your dreams start to actually take off. Because I feel like that's very important. Because if you don't, what happens is that, you know, you start working on your dreams and it doesn't come along, but then your bills start coming along, and then you start giving up your dreams for your bills and responsibilities. But you can do both of them at the same time if you really just have focus and balance.
I like how you said that, and I'm gonna write that down when he said focus and balance. And he also said survival job, and I'm saying that because even for me, when I was out there in California, I seen that I was spending a lot of money to get into these events. These events wasn't free because didn't nobody know who Angela was, so I had to pay my way to be there. And then once I got there, God always had somebody there to take me to my next level. To you know, and you need to be at this film festival. And you know, even once I got to the premiere, and I was around all these like-minded people. But I would like for you to touch on that when you go into these auditions. What is it something that you tell myself? Because if it's me, you, and you know, and some other people, what's in your mind? And I go before you, and you saying, "Oh, and they good." I don't think you know the competition, or you know, do you have that negative self-talk that you have to?
No, definitely, because first of all, you really have to understand the acting industry and everything. Okay. Once you get a better understanding of it, you actually don't have those negative. Oh, okay. You don't start talking yourself out of the job or anything like that. Because first of all, you have to realize there's a million reasons why they're not going to hire you when you go through the door. Once you get an opportunity, you have to realize you could be too tall. You might be too tall for the other actor that you're working with. Your presence might be too big. It's just so many different things that just reasons why they can't hire you. You just go in always and give your best performance, and then you move on from there, and you can't really hang on and worry about it if you get the job or not. Because the truth of the matter is you got to audition a lot to be able to get jobs. I mean, I told you, like, my friend auditioned for a show 18 times, but then he got a 7-episode, you know, gig on a television show. You know, so like I auditioned for a show 10 times before I got a role. So it's just doing it over and over again. But see, the thing that a lot of people look at is it's all about how you look at it. See, you might look at it as the negative, but I'm not getting this job, and I'm not getting this job, and I'm not getting this job. But see, I look at it from a positive point of view, that they keep calling me in. They keep calling me in. They keep calling me in. So I must be doing something right. Just because I didn't get the job, they're still calling me in, so I know that I'm doing something right. Because the industry, they're seeing so many people, they don't have enough time to waste and bring in people who are not going to do the job right. So the fact that they actually keep bringing you in, you have to look at the positive point, standpoint of that hey, I'm doing something right. They keep bringing me in, so I'm gonna just keep doing my best.
Did you hear that Major Nugget, how he used reverse psychology? And I'm saying it even to myself because I feel like this interview is for me as well. When you get turned down, and we look at it as failure, and they said failure is just another opportunity to get it right. And so when you flipped it and you said, they keep calling me, because I'm saying even for me, I was like, God, why did you keep connecting me with these people? And then it's just, it's an endless connection. It's not, and it took my mom to tell me, Angie, they might not need you right now, But who's to say they're not gonna have to come back and say, "You remember when I met you at?"
And that happens all the time. It happens all the time.
God, I'm waiting.
I mean, I talked to an actor who, and I asked him, like, how did you get this job? He said, man, I auditioned for this job a year ago. And I was like, they didn't. And then all of a sudden they called me and said, hey, we want you to come in on such and such a date. So, again, I really just try not to focus on, especially anybody else's performance or, I mean, it could be intimidating sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
And it depends on how you, like as an actor now, at my point in my career, like I might go out and I might be auditioning against Blair Underwood or, somebody famous or something like that. So I can't really be concerned about them and what they're doing. All I got to be concerned about is making sure I'm giving the best performance and giving my best all the time.
Okay. Wow. I mean, that is good. When he's saying he give his best at all times, I think some of us, we kind of have behind show up. We don't get what we want. I'm having to go back to Sue Ham because she's the one who introduced me to the industry. And Sue Ham, it was so refreshing to not only meet her, but she didn't even have a speaking role in that movie. But she promoted it just like she was the star character in it. And I took from Sue Ham that somebody who diligently, who worked, and David knew her by name when I got out to California and I was able to do Facebook Live. So when you see people such as Sue Ham that take even her nonverbal speaking part, she played a homeless woman. And I was similar to her, and I could feel the heat of her finally seeing herself on the big screen, which she worked so hard for.
But now, a speaking part is not always the thing. Like, give an example.
Okay.
You can actually have a non-verbal character that is powerful in a film.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It could be. I mean, there's lots of films and like small films where the role it's just written so that it's not. But you can deliver an amazing performance without words.
Did you hear that? And Sue Ham, I hope you're listening to this because your character didn't have words, but she did such a phenomenal job. And like I said, she promoted it. She, went out just like she was the star character. And I learned a lot from her doing just that. So even when you have people who say, I'm not going to do that role, I'm not even speaking. So what can you say to kind of transition those mindsets and say, hey, it's not how you start, it's how you finish,
Well, it's really just they say there really are no small roles, in our industry. You just got to take it and make it your own, and you could take a small role and, like I've had a small role on shows and it ended up in the trailer, of the television show, or it ended up in the promo of the television show. So, just take it and work with it. And then it gives you an opportunity to work with people. And once they see your work ethic and how you work, it's just like any other industry. If you do a great job, people are going to want to work with you again. Okay.
And I heard you say something yesterday when I talked to you. And you said, Angie, now Atlanta is the largest area as far as the industry. Now everybody was flocking to California, but now as far as Atlanta and its growth, because we need, the word I want to use is just relocating. I'm coming from Abbeville. I'm in pursuit of a dream. What is your advice to me?
Well, if you really look at the industry itself, Los Angeles and New York still are like, there's a lot of activity, there's a lot of things that are going on there. Atlanta has become the #1 filming location in the world because the state has actually offered tax credits to entice films and productions to actually come here. So it has made it like all of the Marvel stuff, like 80% of the Black Panther movie was filmed here. The Avengers was filmed here. A lot of the Avengers was filmed here. So a lot of the big blockbuster movies are filmed here. And but the one thing that you have to be cautious with is that a lot of times they're not always hiring for the main roles here in Atlanta. Even though they do film here and a lot of the money and everything like that is spent here, they still hire a lot of those big roles out of like LA, New York, and things like that. But really what it's saying though is that still Atlanta is a place to be reckoned with as far as the film industry. There is a ton of stuff going on. There's a lot of TV shows, You know, it's still, as far as like television is concerned, it's still not completely up there with like markets like New York and LA. But LA is losing a lot of productions because of Atlanta and other places like New Orleans and Chicago, Detroit. We're all trying, Texas. All of these states are trying to attract that film business there because they know that it actually has a trickle-down effect and really helps the economy.
That's what I was just getting ready to touch on, because I did learn that out there in California, that it was costing so much to film and get people out their homes to do, because they had rented out like that whole little area to do this certain scene, and so it was like it's cheaper for us to relocate to Atlanta and do that scene because it's cheaper to get the people and put them in the hotels while they rent out that certain section of the city.
Yeah, it's actually it's cheaper for production to do it here. Production costs are lower in Atlanta, so that's what's actually driving people who want to film and everything like that here. So it's making it a very. I mean, I moved here 6 months ago because I knew that the film industry was booming here.
Okay. And let's touch on a little bit about your Law and Order role, because I watched that clip like several times, and which not only, when I'm gonna go back, when Chris is telling you to research the people who you are following, I think that is huge and it's important, because when I went down your resume and I was like, oh, look at all these followers, hey, maybe let me get my information and to make sure what he's saying is adding up, because when you teaching people, they won't know, well, what his resume look like. And so,
of course. That's one of the things that I always teach. Like, when you're looking up seminars, if you haven't heard, there's a database that's called IMDb. It's called the Internet Movie Database, and actually it has all actors and talent agents and things like that resume. And you can actually go there, look it up, and find out what the person has done. And I feel that that's very important to me, because I want somebody to teach me that actually has a successful resume or is actively working, as opposed to somebody who really hasn't done anything.
Okay. Yeah, that's huge. And what you said the name of that site was?
IMDb.
IMDb. Write it down. That's a nugget for those.
And typically, if you look up the person's name and type actor behind it, the IMDb website is probably going to pop up in the search results anyway. Okay.
And like I said, that Law and Order role, is that something that you had done practice on, or?
Well, it's the television industry just typically happens so fast.
Okay.
Like they'll call you in there in an audition, like they call you in at the last minute. You don't get a lot of opportunity to prep. Yeah. So you have to, the muscle comes with a lot of practice.
Okay.
So sometimes you get a script the same day. You get a script the same day, and they're like, okay, I want you to come in here right now and audition it for me, like within an hour.
Wow.
And that's how it happens. Actually, that's how it actually happened with Law and Order. They called me in and said, hey, and then I heard that I got the job before I even got home. Oh. So everything happens real fast. You don't really get a lot of notice. You don't get a lot of chance to prep and rehearse and things like that. So if you don't have good memorization skills, you better brush up on it.
You heard that. That's a nugget. You need to start doing something. Okay, and I want to also touch on agent, because I heard that when I was in California. Do you have an agent? I went out to McDonald's and was talking to one of the YouTubers, and she said she even have her manager for YouTube. So what is your recommendation as far as agent that I want to get in this industry? But these agents are charging so much money. So what is your advice as far as, do I need one? Do I have to have an agent?
Well, you have to have an agent if you're going to do anything worthwhile in the business. So you have to have an agent. And there is no, if an agent overcharging you money, it's an industry standard.
Okay.
So those are some of the things that I teach in the class about, how, because there's even agents out there that will scam you.
I know.
So it's a standard fee, for agents and managers. Mm-hmm. So there should be no extra. And if they ask you for any money, if anybody asks you in the industry for money up front, then you should run. Unless it's like a photographer or something like that. But like an agent shouldn't be recommending a photographer. A manager shouldn't be recommending a photographer. it's actually a conflict of interest in order to do so. So, you know, if somebody asks you for money, don't run.
Okay. So that was a major negative because, like I said, it was several people that was wanting, you know, they had money and they had a fee. So beware of the agent part of it. And then I seen something else that you said that you're going to be talking about, and I guess it's kind of like even like marketing yourself at your seminar. So I'm coming to your seminar and I'm excited. And you know, tell me what can I look forward to from Chris Boot Camp, so to speak.
The thing is, I talk about a little bit of everything in the business, some of the pitfalls and things that I've experienced and also like, you know, a lot of my friends or I've seen experiences in the industry to try to get you to avoid some of those things, because being new in the industry, you really just don't know. So it's just trying to avoid a lot of those pitfalls. But I talk about everything from headshots and marketing and PR and branding. One of the things that people don't normally talk about, you know, like PR and marketing, because you get to a certain point in the industry, you got to have PR. You got to get out there. You got to do interviews. You want to get on television, radio shows, blogs, and all of those types of things. So you have to have, there comes a point where you actually need to have a PR person, a publicist, and things like that. So I talk about, you know, okay, when do I actually need to get a publicist in the business? And then I talk about, you know, what you can expect as far as costs and things like that are concerned. So I talk about a lot of stuff that, you know, like they don't necessarily teach you in any type of acting school or college, except for stuff that you actually have to learn by having experience.
Sound like to me, once I get finished with your seminar, I should be ready to get ready for work. I should really be prepared to, because you know, you're talking about money, you're talking about fee, you're telling me, you know, a blueprint on what I need. So I think that's what I need.
You'll have a good you'll have a good idea of what you need to do to get started. Like if you don't know anything about the business, or if you're actually in the business and you're like, you know, I want to do this, but I want to do more, then I'm going to give you the tools and everything like that so that you can actually do more, and also point you in the right direction so that you can be successful in the business.
Okay. He has dropped out some major negatives. So now I want to say, you have told me some things that, you know, how to identify my talent. Now I need to relocate. So tell me, how can I sign up for this class? And tell me how much money it is, because I know everybody's like, how much is it? I know it's going to break the bank.
No, definitely. I mean, you can actually you can look it up, the Acting for Business seminar on Facebook. It's actually right on my page, so okay. you're on Facebook right now.
If you're not on his, if you're not friend with Christian,
yeah,
please follow him and go to his page. And I already ready to have him tagged in this video to go to this page and being able to go find out. And if you don't have money, this is worth the investment, because borrow the money from somebody in order to find out. This is what I don't. When I hear people discredit their dream and underestimate, oh well, you know what? That's $100. That's too much. I don't think so. But think, how much is your dream? How much is it costing you that you sitting here day after day not chasing your dream? That this $100, is that how much it is?
It's $99.
Okay.
You was overcharging by a dollar.
But at least you'll get $1 back from what I'm saying. You'll get $1 back, you know, buy you a little cold drink or something. But in order to invest,
we're gonna have some snacks and juices and stuff like that, though.
You know, being able to come to this event and then leaving saying, I know what to do now. And I think that would be my biggest part, that when I was in California, I had nobody like Chris to lay it out. I had to do it by trial and error. I lost a lot of money. I went to...
And that's what I'm trying to do, basically. I'm trying to help you avoid a lot of pitfalls, help you avoid a lot of scams, help you avoid a lot of things out there that are designed to get your money. It's just like, you know, there's all these things out there, and you don't know. And I've tried them all. So I know what works and like what doesn't work. And like I said, we'll talk about everything from headshots, reels, resumes, working with talent agents and managers and things like that. And again, marketing, branding, stuff like that. So you'll really leave with a lot of information. You'll be charged, energized. A lot of the guys that have actually taken my classes, I've done them in New York City too. They leave very motivated. They're like, oh my gosh, I feel like I want to get out there and do it right now and put a lot of the stuff that I talk about.
I really believe you need to put this on a tour, because you have people that's in the low country that's trying to chase a dream, and they really need to know the value of the investment. You are investing in your dream. So if you're going to go and pay money on some shoes, some clothes, and for me, I used to love some Michael Kors purses, didn't realize the value. Yes. Yes. Loved it. And when I, got to California, I'm bragging about my $200 or $400 purse, having a general conversation. Then this girl walked up with a $1,200 Louis Vuitton purse. So it taught me how to be humble. It taught me, Angie, you've been really investing your money in the wrong thing. You don't have anything. So go ahead.
And really, at the end of the day, if you really want to do something, I mean, I'm sure we all heard the term. It takes money to make money.
Exactly.
If you don't invest in yourself, you got to invest in headshots. If you're a model, you got to invest in comp cards. You got to make investments in order to make money. You got to invest in a website. You might have to invest in building up your social media and things like that. So there's all types of investment so it's really just like any other business.
Yeah.
You're as an actor, you're running your own business. So there's investments that you have to make. And you can't run a business without having a marketing plan or anything like that. So if you don't have a marketing plan or strategy, then your business is kind of doomed to fail. So you got to make some investments in order to be successful. I mean, I can't say that enough.
I hope you all are listening. Like I said, and the reason why I'm pushing and campaigning, your message, because when I went out to talk to Miss Robbie Reed, I was going to the church where she was, and I said,
BET?
Yeah, BET. And I said, Miss Robbie Reed, I feel like God just keep telling me, we keep bumping into each other. We went to church. We was at this event. We at this event. And I said, I feel like God has you to help me. And she said, are you stalking me? I said, no, I just feel like God is happy. She said, well, here's my email address. Send me your reel. And I stood there, what is a reel?
Exactly.
And I did, and I'm telling you, I was totally clueless, totally naive to the fact that, like he said, he's teaching you how to research. I didn't research you all.
And also, this is what I really do, is I teach people how to be prepared, so that when that happens, you know exactly what to do, you know exactly what they're talking about, and you're prepared to send it off, and because at the end of the day, first impressions are everything.
Yes.
So if you're out there and you want to market yourself, put yourself out there, I want to make sure that you have a great headshot, you got a great reel, you got a great, resume and everything that you need, so that when you're ready, when you get that contact and somebody says, send it to me, you're ready.
I'm ready. And like I said, I told her, I had to go and, get something. I had sent it to her YouTube channel and Facebook channel, but I knew nothing. And then something else that stood out too, that after I was at this premiere, this producer that I was sitting beside, didn't know he was a producer at the time. And like I said, I'm just kind of navigating, just talking and being my little Southern country belle self. And so the guy, he invited me, I exchanged business cards. He invited me to a rap party. Didn't know what it was, so I reached out to Sue Ham, and because she was the only role model I knew that it was in the entertainment business, so I called, I said, Sue, I said, he invited me to the rap party, but I don't know what it is. And she said, it must be, I said first about the weight loss, and then she said weight loss too, because we thinking about the rap.
Hilarious, that is so funny.
Yeah, so that's what we
think about. But you know what a rap party is?
I do now.
Okay.
So once we got to the rap party, the name of the sitcom was Grown Folks.
Oh, yeah.
The Grown Folks. So here I am. I knew the dress up.
I love rap parties, by the way.
I knew the dress up. So
Law & Order has a great rap party. Oh, I got so trashy at the one on the rap part.
So you hearing it now. So we teaching you words, and listen, learn the verbs. You know, I put my business out there, Chris. I try to motivate, and I tell them, learn off my trial and error. That God has been able to bless me, fortunate enough to go out to these different industries in order to learn and to know and to recognize. And so I'm thankful for this interview with you, because now I got a go-to person that when those kind of things happen to me again, hey Chris, he's talking language and I don't know. So, and I'm just saying, educate yourself about the industry that you decide to go to. It is worth the investment. This $99 seminar acting class for on August the 18th,
starting at 1 p.m. It's actually in Midtown in Atlanta.
All right. So you heard it here. Go ahead, do what you have to do. That's like right at 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, you got about 3 weeks.
Yeah. So go ahead and that's like
you got you just say $33 a week. Cut out the cigarettes, the sandwiches, and McDonald's and all of that stuff. And really making an investment in yourself.
Listen, and I also seen that you did a little bit of comedy. Is that correct?
I do stand up.
Now, did you hear that? So this is especially going out.
You can look it up on YouTube.
Okay, so I want
Black don't crack unless you smoke it.
I want you to give I call him my son. His name's CJ, and I want you to give CJ a shout out, telling him about stand up.
Oh, we got a little comedian in the house. Look, keep doing your thing. I feel like I was a comedian ever since I was little too.
Oh, okay.
Like if you ever
seen
the
22, 23.
Remember the Eddie Murphy? I think it was Delirious or Raw stand up when the little kid was in the beginning, and then he said, then I kicked him in the. That was me when I was growing up.
And I also have a young lady by the name of Rangeria Lawyer. She contacted me when I was out there in California. She knew anything about the industry, but she called me and she told me that she had a dream of becoming an actress. And she trusted me to coach her. She trusted me, and I used just what God had given to me. I gave it to her. This young lady now has surpassed everything. She's out there living in California by herself, in an Airbnb, chasing her dream. And I want to say she was play an extra in the movie Black Panther. I want to say the last time I think that's what she said. But she's been doing a phenomenal job. But I believe that her main question is, how do she, because she had a coach. And for some way, when you're not getting as many jobs, the coach kind of drop you to the wayside. So
the Asians.
Yeah,
the
okay.
Asians will drop you if you don't book.
Yeah.
They
so
will.
What is your encouragement to her? Because that's what happened. Sort of. I'm saying similar to that kind of story. So what's your advice to her that she's out there, she pursuing, she warming up, and she's out there chasing her dreams by herself, no family, nobody.
Well, in this industry, you have to be very persistent. And use an example of somebody like Mark Ruffalo, he plays the Hulk in the Avengers.
Okay. And
he said that he was turned down, I think 5,400 and something times.
Oh wow.
And was told that he couldn't act. And people will say that all the time in the industry. The industry could be sometimes it could be cruel. And people will tell you can't act and you can't do this and you can't do that. And you just have to know that that if you're meant to be in this business and that you're meant to do something in this business, it may be something like, give an example, like you just may be so unique that people don't know how to put you in a certain thing. And maybe it's because you're supposed to actually design or develop something your own, So no matter what it is, if you feel, deep down in your heart that that you're right for this industry, that you just keep doing it and you keep doing it. But I always say this too. Mm-hmm. You really have to be realistic, because there's a lot of people who work in this industry who are not going to make it.
Yeah.
They really are not going to make it in the industry. Yeah. And it's true. So you really have to be realistic and say, okay, am I made? But you have to really take a hard look at yourself and say, am I really made for this industry? Can I do it? Can I memorize? Can I actually deliver? And the other thing that I tell people all the time now, that if you're not getting the jobs that you want, we have the technology now. You can create your own jobs. You can create your own projects. You can write your own web series. You can write your own shorts. You can do your own, documentaries. Do the work. Stop waiting for people to actually give you a job and create your own jobs. And that's what a lot of successful people are doing right now. The industry has changed a lot over the last, I would say, 10 years to where networks are looking for produced projects. You know, they're looking for stuff that's already done and ready to go. So they're looking for people like myself to produce a 12 to 13 episode, you know, television show and have it all ready to go so that they can buy it and put it out there.
Okay. And I want to give this shout out to, because when I came home on last year, I hosted me a pilot. And I was excited because I was burning with enthused from California. But then when I got home, I had it done, and shout out to Belinda Milson. Her and her family, I'm talking about her son, her daughter, her husband, they came and they delivered. And, you know, and I feel bad because it's still an unfinished product. It's still unfinished because I dropped the ball, you know, with, you know, long as when I came back to South Carolina.
People do that in the industry all the time.
Drop it.
Oh, man. You know how many projects I worked on that never got finished?
Oh, my gosh.
It happens. I think, first of all, one of the major reasons is because you're working on a passion project and it's not producing you money. And when the bills start knocking on the door, you be like, hold up, I got to stop this and start taking care of these bills.
Yeah, so my life just went on a roller coaster ride. And so people, when it came up as a memory.
But go back and finish it.
Yeah, it came up as a memory, being right at a year, and I didn't even share it because it was just hurtful that I came out here and I'm this motivational speaker and I have all this going on, and then Angie, you dropped the ball. So when I reached back out to her and I said, these people came, we made up a studio. This lady she rented her building for free. Thank you, shout out to Pastor J, Joanne. That Lee, even Belinda, her and her staff did it at that time because I didn't have enough money to pay her for everything. My wedding ended. She came and just believed in the vision. And I keep encouraging her. I said, Belinda, this is going to change your life. I said, once we can get it finished, I said, it don't have to be perfect. Because I was going to take it to India Films in California. The David Brown is the name of the guy that's down there. All you have to do is just get it. And when he showed it on the big screen, he just wanted to show it in order to get investors there. Tina Knowles was there, to pitch it off. And I told her, I said, you don't have to be perfect. But I think because they hadn't had that vision from California, she still, with her name on it, she wanted to be in this perfect little box. And so I was like, you know, Belinda, I'm letting you know right now, it don't have to be perfect. It just has to be.
There's something that I learned from, I went to see a play on Broadway last year from a guy that actually has been producing on Broadway, I believe, for like 70 years. It was called The Prince of Broadway. And the biggest thing that I learned from that, the message that I learned from that, is he said, just do the work. It doesn't matter if you think it's good, bad, or anything like that. Just do it.
Just do it. Belinda, you hear that? Just do it. We just got to get it done.
Just do the work. So if it takes a long while to do it, it takes a long while.
Yeah, I think most
just
of it.
Just continue to move forward and press forward.
Okay. I think that's the biggest thing, that talk show, because I really want to do this What's Wrong with Angela. I can't wait to be sitting in your side and Oprah Winfrey interviewing me. That's what it was my belief, and I'm not going to stop believing it until I be sitting down with her and I'm going to tell her, I've been waiting on you. That's my dream, and I've been waiting on you. So, Chris, is there anything else that you want to add before we turn it over to Peter?
Oh, we got to do a shout out to Gino.
Our connection.
For hooking this up together. Come over here, Gino, and wave to the people.
Do you all type your questions in the box, and then we'll go through and get Chris to answer them. And so we're gonna try to tie up at least by 9:30, 9:20.
Come to me, Gino. Say wave to everybody. Say what's
you
going
guys.
on.
You wanna come over here on this side? Yeah.
Real quick, this
connection. Is
Hey, you guys, I just wanted. Well, you go ahead, Christian.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to shout out to everybody that I
You're not on there. You on the screen? You're on the screen, right? It's just a delay.
Yeah. Hey, I just want to shout out to everybody that brought this together. I knew Angie was out here doing her thing, so I wanted to put her on the map some more and add this to her interviewing portfolio. So I connected her with Kristen, and we're doing some things as far as trying to make sure we get this seminar going and get everybody up to speed as far as what they can do, whomever want to become, that next actor or actress. So we're just trying to put the stuff together and make things happen. So I know Angie's going to do her thing, and she's going to get that interview eventually.
Exactly.
With all the stars and all that good stuff. So we in ATL now, we taking it over by storm. So just look out for us, man. We're going to make it happen and continue to do great things. So just continue to just pray for everybody and, you know, uplift everybody. And everybody can get a piece of the pie. So just encourage each other. You know, check out the seminars, some great information, and just be blessed with everybody.
All right, well, tell him your role. Your role gonna be managing. He's the one you
I'm managing pretty much.
He's
booking agent.
He's the booking agent.
Well, I'm pretty much managing everything, making sure everything is intact. You know, I do this as my full-time job as well in another at a corporation, what have you. So managerial is my thing. 20 plus years in it, so I know the ins and outs. So I just want to make sure everything is together, and I like, you know, making these connections. So therefore, we continue to bridge the gap because, you know, we as African Americans, we need to make sure that we continue to look after each other, encourage one another, and build each other up, and not tear people down. So just make an opportunity, bless everyone, and continue to just keep us all in prayer.
All right, and we also gonna type that website to Chris. So if you're interested in signing up, that way you will have the link. You don't have to go and try to search for it. We'll put it in the comments for you to sign up.
Yeah, you got it. I got the link.
So. Yeah, so I'll copy and paste that link for you. You have any questions, reach out to us and let you know. Listen, it is an investment. You know, I can't say it, you know, enough. When you saying, what am I getting for $99? He just gave you all the things that I wished that I had when I was out there in California pursuing. And
I didn't give you all of it, though.
No, what I'm saying.
You got to come to the seminar to get the info.
He gave you enough.
You got to get the meat and potatoes.
Exactly.
You just got a snack.
Right. He just got appetizers, so leading you on to the main course, which is going to be August 18th. And I'm just saying that me being where you are right now, and I had no entertainment industry, I had no role model, nobody to trailblaze before me. A lot of things I did, I learned off trial and error. I lost money behind it. You know, people took my money. People took over $3,000 from me, and I'm investing, I'm saving money, I'm working. I'm giving people $2,000 to $3,000 in one lump, or breaking it up, you know, bi-weekly, for people still not to give me what I want. So when people see me and they say, well, Angie, how can we trust you? You just like us. The thing is, when you expose, when your eyes have been exposed, you can go back temporarily, but you will not stay there because you will be very uncomfortable. And God has made me very uncomfortable until I get where it is I want to go.
I believe in that. Yeah, and in order for your life to change, you have to be uncomfortable where you're at.
Okay, let me see.
So do we have any questions?
Let me see. I was trying to cut my stuff down. I need to build.
Someone had something about a voiceover. She wanted to know more information about how she can do voiceovers.
Okay, so you know, we're definitely going to talk about that in the industry. I'm actually may have a special guest about voiceovers at the seminar. I'm working on 2 special guests as well, but we will talk about the voiceover industry and how to get it. Like, voiceovers are really good. I have 2 voiceovers that I did this year, and I did a voiceover. One of the things that people don't know about voiceovers is this thing called ADR, and I'll talk about that. But like, I worked on this movie where I was like all the background noise, like there were soldiers and stuff like that, and you hear us in the background, you know, making like noises over the radio and stuff like that. The name of the movie was called Arrival. The movie was immensely successful, and I think I worked on that voiceover 2 years ago. Like, I got a check like last month, and it was good too. I was like, wow, you know, for some voiceover work that I did 2 years ago. You know, so there's definitely lots of opportunities for voiceovers, even in the video game industry. Just tons of opportunities. So we will talk about that during the seminar.
So Kendra had a question. She said she missed it. So Kendra, Thomas, go ahead and ask your question again.
Yeah. Okay. Well, my other question. As he talking that the reason why you need to attend this seminar is because he is all so versatile with his information that when you thinking just one way, when you are just thinking, oh, I just want to be an actor, he letting you know right now it is a page long list of other opportunities in front of the camera, behind the camera, using just your voice. So those things that we need to know, because especially coming from Abbeville, we are very limited with information. We're very limited with opportunity. We don't know how to dream big. What if you have a child that's out there and you know your child is very smart in a particular area, and these kids are coming out smart? Do you want to put your kids in an acting class or it's something that he can expand that talent that he already has? So, you know, that way you see this child with talent, don't just sit on it and say, oh, you just acting up. No, because, you know, just like Bishop T.D. Jakes said, he told his daughter to put his granddaughter in leadership because she liked to take the lead. She likes to be the leader in it. You look at your child and you see being able to identify those gifts and talent, and God say it'll make room for you.
Kendra want to know about the voice overs again. If you can just briefly speak about that again, Christian.
About what specifically did you want to know about the voiceovers?
She said that her brother was looking to get into that role.
Okay, so one of the things about voiceovers is that you have to, just like a regular reel, you have to have a voiceover reel. That's one of the things that that I'll talk about in the class. And then you have to learn how to market yourself out there as a voiceover artist.
She also want to know, is the seminar, is it available for kids too?
Yes, this is for everybody. So, if it's for kids that want to be in the business, adults that want to be in the business, I'm going to go over information for everyone.
Okay. And make sure you're doing kids of age that kind of understand. Because if your child too young to understand, it'll make a distraction for the people who kind of they're seeking something. So
it really would maybe be better for the parents.
Yeah,
because
exactly,
the parents are going to need to understand the business side of everything and what they need to do. Like, give an example, like in states like in New York and California, you actually have to open up a trust account for your child, and there's certain things that you have to do, as far as like child performers and things like that have to be set up. So, we're going to go over those types of information, that type of information during the seminar.
All right. Any more questions?
I'll just send an email. They want his email so they can send the email.
Okay.
Okay, so there's the email. So you guys can email him, and he'll give you more information regarding.
What email address did you give him?
The Christian Frasier at gmail.com?
That's not the right address.
Oh,
that's why I wanted the.
Okay.
So actually, the best way, if you want to register for the class, message me on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, message me, and I'll message you back.
Oh, you just delete that comment. Yeah.
Probably the easiest way, I make sure that I get the correct information and get you registered for the class. Oh. And also, if I'm linked in there, you'll see the information right on my profile because I just posted it up like yesterday. Okay.
Like I said, I will get that information and post it in the comment. That way you won't have to go search for it. You can look at it, because if you're serious, and that's the thing, ladies, when it comes, people in general, when it comes to a fee, a tax or something, we always negative. We kind of back out. But
you're getting headshots too if you're attending live, which is great because you get headshots from somebody who knows what the casting directors are looking for and are calling in, which is very important. I talk to you about your types and everything like that. And there's a lot of photographers out there that actually, they don't really know how to take actors' headshots, which is very important. They take very great portraits, but they don't take headshots. And there's a difference between a portrait and a headshot.
Do you have access to a headshot? Because I want to show them, because I don't think people know, because I didn't know. And that's why, since Christian is right here and we can ask him, I wanted him to pull one up so they can see exactly what is a headshot, how much detail, because I see
we'll talk about that in the class.
Okay.
And we go over headshots and stuff like that, and the actors, sometimes that they're in the class and they have headshots, I asked them to bring it so we can actually talk about, the headshots and what we need to do.
All right, well, that's good. You know what? Learn from the expert, not me, because like I told you, I didn't know anything about it, because I thought from neck up was pretty good. So. Any more questions?
Any more questions? That's
I
it?
think that was it.
That's
Pretty
it.
much.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
I had a blast. I hope you learned something. I got some information that was helpful. I hope to see some of your faces at the seminar on the 18th. And again, if you have any questions or anything like that, message me on Facebook. I won't respond tonight.
That's right. That's right.
Because it's been a long day and a lot of stuff going on, but definitely, you know, I'll answer any questions that you
So
may
it was
have.
Christian Frasier, NY.
No.
Oh.
See, that's why I said message me on Facebook. He got all the email addresses and everything.
Well, I
like
was
that
just reading.
wrong.
So,
Yeah. So definitely, like I said, message me. That's the best way.
All right, I have enjoyed this. Thank you very much for this connection, cuz I highly appreciate it. And listen, you don't burn bridges because, you know, this is my cousin. So I thank him for looking at the things that I do and being able to network with me, that Chris be a bridge to help me get to my next level. So thank you for welcoming me into your home. Thank you for the opportunity to kind of research you and ask you and kind of pick your brain a little bit. So any last minute questions before I say my little spiel?
Hey, if you want to look out and find out more about me, you can look me up on the web. It's ChristianFrasier.com. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, you name it. Twitter.
Yeah, and he got all these followers. I need to catch up. Anyway, this is Angie, the Metamorphosis Coach, teaching you how to transform your dreams into reality, one headshot at a time. Bye.